Bourgeois. Bourgeois.
Bonjour. I'm making a sourdough bread today. In this bowl, I've mixed maybe a 1/4 kilo of rye flour and a 1/4 kilo of spelt flour. It depends how much bread you want to make. I like doing equal parts for flavor. And so I'll put in a little more of each of these flours. And then I will add a nice pinch of salt. It doesn't have to taste salty, it's just to inhibit the sourdough from going too out of control. So I add a pinch of salt. And then for flavor, I'm going to add some caraway seeds. And also a nice addition to rye bread is some sunflower seeds. I'm going to add these in too. And you can also sprinkle some on top before you bake the loaf. So I'm just going to mix all the dry ingredients. And then in the middle, I'm going to make a hole there, a little well. And I'm going to put my sourdough starter in, which I have already made and maintained every week. Maybe in another video I'll explain how to do that. And so I'm going to put it all in. And then a very important key to maintaining sourdough long term is to replenish the starter after you mix your dough with a little bit of the dough itself. I also like to maybe add a little bit of sweetness and like a dark color for the rye, which is traditional for rye bread. So I can add a little bit of Ceylon date syrup there. And then for the liquid, I'm going to add enough water so that it's a pretty wet dough. This is a method of making sourdough bread that does not require kneading. Very user-friendly, and it really just needs time to develop into a bubbly sourdough bread before baking. So as you see, it's a pretty wet dough. I wouldn't be able to knead it. I'm going to add a little more water. And then the key with sourdough is you want a kitchen that's warm enough to keep the fermenting going. And if that's a challenge, then a little trick you can do is to put your dough in oven at a very, very low temperature. Turn the oven on to warm it up, put the dough in, and then turn the oven off and keep the door closed, and that'll help it simulate a warm environment.
Moshe Noam, you want to be in the video for a minute?
Here you go. You want to eat some sourdough? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, we'll make you some sourdough.
Alright, so this is my basic dough. So you can see it's pretty goopy. And that's all I'm going to do for now. And then I'm going to cover it with a wet towel and let it sit overnight.
You're going to cover it with a what?
A wet towel.
Okay.
And let it sit overnight. And then I'm going to transfer it to loaf pans. Basically let it rise as much as possible, but maybe we'll continue the video tomorrow. And then put it into bake. So I'm going to put a little bit back into my jar. And this is going to be my sourdough for next week.
It's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Miriam.
Enjoy. Au revoir.
L'kavod Shabbos Kodesh.
L'kavod Shabbos Kodesh.
Thank you, Moshe Noam, for being so patient. You look very cozy.
Does it look French?
Doesn't look French.